Week 8 is here. The Bucks won. Fear the deer. Welcome back to the BallGame podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Matt.
And I'm ORTIZ.
Week 8 sits for fantasy football with a very special guest, one of the OG members of the pod, making his return, running back the three-man weave of the greatest BallGame podcast ever, Mr. ORTIZ. How you doing? How does it feel to be back on the couch?
Oh, it feels great. I mean, when you text me, when you asked me if I was working, I said, I know where he's going with this. And I was already typing out, I would love to, before you even sent out the message, want a pod. So I was very excited to come back.
When he texted me that you were coming on, I was in class, and I didn't see it till like a half an hour after. He at first said, should I ask Ortiz? And then like 20 minutes later, I didn't respond, and he goes, I'm asking Ortiz.
Yeah, okay, well, I was like, what's he going to do? Tell me no?
And then he goes, Ortiz is coming on, and I'm like, let's go. I'm like, I'm hype. So, wait, time out. That intro, we went from
Bro,
week
that was
8.
electric.
No, I know, but why the Bucks? Why do we pick the Bucks?
Fear him.
Flight Reacts has me inspired with his monthly intros that he does where it rhymes with the month. And last week I said week 7 is here. I can't say have no fear every time.
That's fair.
But
that's
it
fair.
rhymes with here. So I need something that rhymes with here. Deer rhymes with here.
Bucks. Okay. All right.
The Bucks won.
And
Fear the deer.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's
yeah.
No, it's fire.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
now I get it.
next week I don't know where
Good
I'm gonna
luck.
go with it.
No, but you have a week. So
Yeah,
it's fine.
I'll
You
be
got
looking
time.
up synonyms for here. But
yonder.
yeah. Ortiz, before we get into the fantasy football sits, you're the baseball guy with the Mets hat on. I'm sorry about that, but World Series starts tomorrow. Yankees, Dodgers. We know where Matty J is going to go with his pick, but who are you picking in the World Series? And throw out a World Series MVP pick for us, too, as the baseball guy.
As I've been thinking about it ever since the Mets lost. And
I was hoping for the Subway Series.
yeah, I was hoping for it too.
Obviously.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Well, yeah, I would hope you did.
But after thinking about it, saying, the Dodgers are the best team in baseball, this and that, blah, 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 and they're going to, no matter who's in their path, they're going to win. I sat down and I thought about it, not from a Mets fan point of view, just from a unbiased baseball point of view. And just from what the Dodgers have and how they could hit 1 through 9 compared to the Yankees. I know the Yankees' big three right now is doing their thing. It's the unsung heroes in the playoffs. And you see Tommy Edman, NLCS MVP, 11 RBIs. I mean,
What the fuck?
got him for nothing from the
Yeah.
Cardinals at the deadline.
Yep.
And
Kike.
you had Max Muncy also break another postseason record, or tying the record with 12 straight on reaching base. Just
Yep.
insane. Sad had to be against the Mets, and the bullpen kind of collapsed there. But team's hot, and I'm leading the Dodgers in the series.
And how many?
5.
Bro.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay. That is incredibly disrespectful.
I'm
hurt. I'm honestly
Hey.
hurt. You guys took 2.
We did.
Look.
Who are you rooting for though? Because the Dodgers
That is a good
just
question.
beat you guys, but historically you're a guy who hates the Yankees. So who do you want to see win?
Honestly, if I had to choose one of the two options, I choose option C for an asteroid to hit
No,
the Earth.
that's not an option.
But yeah, it's not. But I'm not rooting for anyone. Am I leaning for a team to win? Yes, and it's the Dodgers.
Fair
Wow.
enough. Fuck the Yankees.
Well, and
So-
I thought about it like this too. It's the two most annoying fan bases in sports. And you could agree with that. A Yankee fan base as a whole is a very annoying fan base.
We're okay.
Correct?
Especially
No.
the people who come out of nowhere, man. Everyone on Staten Island's a Yankees fan once the playoffs start. Like, when I say everyone, I mean
Yes.
everyone
Yep.
on this island is a Yankee fan when the playoffs start. It's insane. Everyone posting on their stories the final scores
Oh
and shit.
my
Shut
God,
up.
bro. I
go.
scrolled through the Instagram stories after the Yankees won in the ALCS, and I saw at least 40 people that I was like, you don't watch baseball for sure. Like, I can guarantee you don't watch baseball. And I mean, shit, whatever. Like, if you're gonna support New York, support New York. I was rooting for you guys. I really was. So it's heartbreaking for me to hear this. I was rooting for the Mets, and here we are.
Well, like I said, it's the two most annoying fan bases in sports, right? One's on the East Coast, where I live. The other one's on the West Coast,
Yeah.
where I don't live.
Which one affects you more?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do I want to hear about it for the next 18 years of my life?
And you also get to say you lost to the eventual champs.
Exactly.
So I get it. I had another Met fan in the gym today tell me the same thing. Like he was like, I'm rooting for the Dodgers. He's like, I'm sorry, I know you're a Yankee fan, but I'm rooting for the Dodgers.
The term rooting, I would say, is strong.
Yeah,
The losses.
He was like, it's the worst of the two. It's the better of the two evils, I should
yeah.
say. So,
I mean, another example of this is 2008 when the Yankees played the 2009.
Oh,
I'm
9,
sorry,
we played the Phillies.
Yeah, it was Yankees Phillies. I didn't watch that World Series.
It's a good World Series.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
8-year-old me loved it.
Yeah, and when I say Dodgers in 5, I would like to reference the 2000 World Series when the Yankees did win in 5. It was a hard-fought 5.
Yes, it was.
If you watch back, it was a gritty.
Every
I
game
remember
was
that
close.
like it was yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, year
What?
before we were
What
born.
will
Yeah.
LeBron say? I just had a feeling the Yankees were gonna win that one in 5 games. You know, right? The Yankees won that one.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did. Look, obviously, I think we all know where I'm going, but I'm going with the Yanks in 7. I think you just said the length of the lineup for the Dodgers, and I think it's kind of gone a little under the radar how well the Yankees' bottom of the order has hit so far. Volpe's been awesome in the playoffs. Verdugo's come through in big spots for us, and Rizzo, ever since coming back, has actually been really good. Outside of that, the only two that have sucked are Jazz and Austin Wells. They've been awful. The rest of the lineup has been great.
I feel like Jazz is an X factor for you guys, though, and that's the reason you got him.
He is huge for us. If he starts hitting, I don't know if you could stop this lineup, to be quite honest. The pitching staff, what version of every single pitcher are you getting?
Exactly. I mean, that
Which
goes
is the
both
problem.
ways. But
Exactly.
But the
It
thing
goes
is,
both
I feel like
ways.
the Dodgers are going to punish you more if your pitchers are more wild.
Yeah.
I feel like the Yankees obviously have a more higher tendency to strike out, as we saw in that Dodgers series with the Mets. As I watched every single pitch, I've never seen a team more passive, a team with a set goal up at the plate. It's a team on a mission.
They have a lot of guys on their team that are high contact, low strikeout rates. Like it's tough. It's a very difficult lineup to pitch to, but the thing is when the Yankees pitching is on, we have one of the best rotations in all baseball.
What
Like,
happened to Justin Turner? Where's he at these days?
Boston? I think he was in
so.
Boston.
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty
like
sure he was in
Justin
Boston
Turner.
this year.
I used to have him in Diamond Dynasty and MLB 17.
he was a good guy.
Justin
I like
Turner
him.
was so cool when
He
was
always
good.
got on base for me,
Yeah,
man. He
when he
always
was
had
good
contact.
after he left the Mets.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, he was so
Yeah.
good for the
That was
Dodgers,
awesome.
bro.
Shout out Justin Turner though. He was
like
he was
him.
he was a Met in the really dark times.
Yes, he was.
Oh, the
He
really
was.
dark. At least
What
in
the
my
hell
life.
happened, man? He just leaves and he becomes one of the best players in the MLB at the time. So
Yeah.
it happens to the best of them, I
Yes,
guess.
it does.
But yeah, Yanks in 7. Quite simple for me.
Who do you have as a World Series MVP?
Oof.
Since you have the Yankees winning, I obviously assume it's going to be a Yankee.
Boy, yeah, it ain't no Jerry West situation here. I'm gonna go with. Come on, man. He's about to get paid. About to get paid. It's
By that
Juan
guy in
Soto.
Queens, yeah.
It's Juan Soto. It might be Cohen that pays him, but regardless, he's going to get paid. He had a great ALCS, didn't win it because we had a freak of nature just going crazy
Yeah.
in Stanton. But I'm taking Soto as World Series MVP and just continuously adding on dollars, more and more millions of dollars.
Yo,
each
that
game,
would be
so.
nuts if he wins the World Series with the Yankees and then goes to the Mets.
It's a Kawhi Leonard situation.
Yeah, but he didn't
Nah,
go
Who
to
we're going to be
way
talking
bigger.
about
Yeah,
today.
but Toronto didn't have any rivals like that, or like anyone in state with that. Like the Mets,
They don't have
winning
states.
a World Series with
yeah.
the Yankees and then going to the Mets is crazy.
But it's basically like the
but-
Kawhi situation in that it's a hired gun. It's a hired gun. You get him for 1 year, you win a World
Of
Series,
course,
and
yeah.
he's gone.
But
So
yeah, but you guys
if-
want to keep him.
Of
It's not
course
like
we do,
basketball
yeah.
where
do
there's a-
you guys open the checkbook for him?
yeah, he will be
Win or lose.
Yes.
If Soto comes out, goes, give me $60 million a year.
Well, no, that's not going to happen.
Exactly.
Then Cohen could do that. Have fun. But I wouldn't. Look, I hate to say it. I wouldn't even pay the guy $60 million a year. Like
You
truth be
wouldn't?
told-
Well,
well, not
thank
me.
God.
I don't have those deep pockets. We wouldn't be
like you-
in my basement
I would
here
say
if that was the
You'd be in
case.
generational debt if you decided to pay that contract to him.
Yeah, you're definitely for sure. 1 year would put me in generational debt, brother. Yeah, no, I don't think we'd give him 60 mil. I think realistically, he's probably going to get like a 13-year deal or a 14-year deal
100%.
for
But-
like 600, maybe 700. I think it'll end up being like 45 a year though. 45 to 50 a year, and I think that'll be fine. But
God, I'm sorry to cut
he'll
you
no,
off,
you're
Daniel
good. You're good.
Gafford, Daniel
He'll
Gafford.
deserve it, and he should get it from us. I think he definitely gets it from us. So we'll see what happens though. We'll see what happens. What's your pick, Chris?
I feel
Since
like
you follow baseball so intently.
I like from what I know, I do think the Dodgers are the better team, but I'm gonna pick the Yankees just for New York vibes. But
Also, bro, the parade.
yeah,
The parade is going to. You're not gonna go.
Hell no. What the hell would I
the
go to
Liberty had
Yankee
their
parade?
parade today, and
Yes, they
then
did.
they have an event right now at the Barclays Center. My whole family is there with Mackenzie.
That's
I'm
right.
Oh,
here
nice.
putting
That's
in that
fire.
work. But
Okay.
yeah, they're all there right
Respect.
now. So
The grind, man.
yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the Yankees. But I do think the Dodgers are the better team from my limited baseball knowledge.
They probably
Who do you have
are.
have a World Series MVP? Yankees and how many?
I'll go Yankees in 6. I feel like if they win, it has to be Giancarlo. The way he's been carrying throughout this postseason, I feel like the other guys have been cool, but I feel like he's been by far the Yankees' best player throughout the course of the postseason right now. And I feel like if they're gonna win, he has to keep up that level of play.
Yeah.
So I'll go with Giancarlo.
In.
Yankees in
He
6.
said Yankees. in 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yankees in
And
6.
who'd you have as your World Series MVP? You didn't pick one,
I've
did
been
you?
thinking it's been all the
Teoscar.
unsung guys.
Teoscar's so good, bro.
Teoscar's awesome, but I think my sheer love for Mookie Betts is gonna give me Mookie.
At least you
Mookie
said
Betts
Mookie.
is yeah.
I can't even be mad at Mookie. Mookie's great.
Bro, he's
Mookie's
the
awesome.
greatest, man.
He
I
really
love
is. He's
Mookie.
so cool, bro.
Bro,
There's so many players on the Dodgers that I want to root for, but of course they have to play us. So I'm not. Obviously I'm gonna hate them this series,
Yeah.
but
I was booing everyone when I was at games 3 and 4, and Mookie came up. I was like,
yeah. I will say one thing, and I'll close it on this. If we have any shot of winning, this cannot be another poor Aaron Judge showing.
No.
The MVP of Aaron Judge, that version needs to show himself in this
Yeah.
series. If we have any
and
shot of winning,
who do you guys have
So,
on game 1?
Cole.
And you need Garrett Cole to show up.
We need the best version of Cole. And we need the best version of
because
Judge.
you're gonna need Cole to win.
that simple.
He's gonna pitch 2 games. You
May even get in on a third
Yeah.
if he comes in
if
relief
yeah,
or
if
something.
need be, but at minimum, Cole's pitching 2 games. You need at least one.
Yeah.
One win. It doesn't have to be game 1. Has
No.
to at least be his next.
This
start.
one has to. I think he needs to set
No
the tone.
way.
Away. What'd
What?
you do?
I just deleted my start sits. No.
You gotta have some of them in your head. No?
Yeah, but I had notes, bro.
Oh,
That's
my
so
God.
annoying. Whatever. No schmotes.
Well, we'll transition into that. We're gonna give you our week 8 start sits. Hopefully, Chris is somewhat prepared for this after deleting his notes.
I'll figure it out.
So I guess I'll get this thing started. I'll give you a second to try to figure things out over there. I'm gonna go with my start of the week, Bo Nix. It's disgusting. It's gross, but a lot of my start sits will be this week. It's simple. It's Carolina, and I really don't need to say much more. Not to mention he's, as you said before the show, got the 4th most rushing yards amongst quarterbacks. He's been running and showing off his wheels way more than I think any of us expected so far. And I guess I could say he's been getting a little bit better every week, but like that isn't exactly true.
I think they're winning despite him.
they
not because
really
of
are
him.
winning despite him. They are not winning because of Bo Nix at the moment.
They
But
could
that
have
could
beat
mean
the
good
Saints
things.
by 100 last week if he was a good quarterback.
Yes,
Like, honestly.
they actually could
I
have. That's the
know.
scary truth of the matter. So, yeah, I'm going to start Bo Nix, and it's because of the rushing upside too. So,
Word.
Ortiz, who you got?
My start of the week is going to be C.J. Stroud. I think from the punch in the face last week that he got, he's going to bounce back, going back home after playing in a rough Green Bay crowd. It was pretty cool how they organized the whole whiteout.
Yeah,
That was-
the
that-
Green
that was
Bay
fucking
white
awesome.
jerseys are
That was
sick.
awesome.
They're
So
clean.
beautiful.
I like
That
them.
was really cool and a very winnable game that they honestly should have won.
100%.
You know, you can't have T.J. Stroud throwing for less than 100 yards. You know, it's not going to win you a football game.
They didn't even turn the ball over in that game.
They just
Packers
couldn't
turned it over
move the
3
ball,
times
bro.
and still won the game.
Yeah,
So-
couldn't move
And
the
I
ball.
think they're going to have a lot of opportunities with the Colts
Yeah.
struggling offensively at the moment.
That man misses Nico, though.
Yeah, no,
Desperately misses
100%.
Nico.
This has
so.
to be the Tank Dell game.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
He had one a couple weeks ago, right? Like he had a big game.
yeah, but
somewhat big game.
it doesn't count because he followed it up with a goose egg.
Bro, yeah,
Yes,
It
literally.
cancels
it-
out.
it
So
does
now
cancel out.
he still has no good game.
Yeah,
so
no.
this has to be the Tank Dell game.
He
Moving on to my
himself, dude.
He
Yeah.
did. He really did.
my start of the week, it just had to be my tribal chief is back, and he's in action, and he must be in your fantasy lineup this week. It's Tua. The Cardinals' defense is ass. Justin Herbert just threw for 350 yards against them, throwing to me, you, and Ortiz. And
Yep.
I had a tough
the Dolphins' offense, we know how explosive they could be when the tribal chief is at quarterback, and they want to send a statement. Mike McDaniel wants to send a statement. Tua wants to send a statement. Tyreek most definitely wants to send a statement. He told everyone the band is back together. Put me in your lineup. So it just got to be Tua.
What if
If
he just goose eggs.
who
I-
Tyreek?
Tyreek.
No way.
I think there's a better chance of a meteor hitting the earth during the Yankees
Tyreek
Dodgers
Goose
World
getting a
Series
goose this
than
week, yeah.
Tyreek having a goose.
And you could say like, oh, but maybe Tua needs a week or two to get back into the swing of things. You know, maybe he's not. Listen, bro. His life was on the line. If he wasn't ready to go, he wouldn't be playing. It's as simple as that. He's ready to go. This is expect full force Tua at his best. And again, against a pretty weak defense, I think he'll have a pretty solid game. Throw a few tuds. My sit of the week, though, I'm going to stay in this game. It's Kyler Murray, who's been just so underwhelming in fantasy football.
It's because
so-
we traded for him.
I know. Ever since, because we traded for him after week 2. The stats I had written down were he hasn't thrown for over 250 since week 2. And excluding his 50-yard touchdown run in week 5 and his 44-yard touchdown run last week against the Chargers, he's averaging 12.8 fantasy points per game over that span. Obviously, you know, we could include those big long rushes because Kyler's capable of that at any time. But my point being is if he doesn't give you a 40-plus yard explosive touchdown run, he's a 10-point per game
That
guy,
four.
which he just hasn't been on one throwing the football. This Cardinals passing attack as a whole is just not been
I don't
good.
think it's Drew Petzing anymore.
I think it's a combination of everything. Because I'm wearing the jersey, like I'd love to sit up here and say
He's
it's
been open, bro.
yeah, for sure. But he's also had some bad drops.
Yes.
He's also, I think, all the rookie receivers in this class, like it's something me and Nick talk about all the time. Malik, Roma Dunes, Marv, Brian Thomas, all of
And
them
then
at
even going to the next round, like
all of them at times, I feel like I've caught them just not running routes hard.
okay. Yeah.
Even Malik sometimes it's like they run routes sometimes knowing they're not getting the ball, and like I get it, you know, you're a rookie and you know you want your touches, but you got to run your routes. Like the
Especially as a
ball will find you.
I feel like the only guy that's all effort is Ladd. You know.
Yeah,
All
because he
effort, baby.
has grit, you know.
All
he's just
effort,
cut from that
gritty,
type of
just
ball.
Determination.
Yeah, he loves the game. He truly loves
Yeah,
the game.
so
You can see it.
Marv hasn't been that great. Kyler obviously has been struggling, and Drew Petzing, like his play calling is just so fucking vanilla, bro. It's
Yeah,
so
it's-
vanilla. It's run on first and second down, and then it's Marv's running streaks like he's like playing like Gabe Davis. They have him running routes. Like I saw some stats, like his separation scores on comeback routes and post and crossing routes is really
Oh, good.
good. And then on his go routes, it's like a negative separation score, but his go routes make up 25% of his route tree, and all those other 3 are less than 25% of his total route tree. And it's just like, and I say it all the time, you got to get your star receiver manufactured touches.
Yep.
They haven't thrown one screen pass to him all year.
I think it's very apparent why he didn't want to run the 40 now. He doesn't have, and it's fine. You don't have to have that crazy top end speed. He doesn't have that, but he's such a good route runner and like
His
super
footwork
nuanced.
is perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, like it's very Devontae Adams. Like
Yes.
he has those traits. But again, Devontae Adams is always the guy I point out for this. Is look at what Aaron used to do with Devontae in Green Bay. The first drive of the game, there was always some type of end around or screen pass just to get that guy the ball in his hands. even though it's not a quarterback who's throwing the ball all game, like it's not basketball where, guys have the ball in their hands all game. You got to get in a rhythm. You got to get in a rhythm, and the Cardinals are doing a poor job of that. We're seeing it in Marvin's stats. We're seeing it in Kyler's stats, and we're just seeing it in this offense overall. So Kyler Murray, until he puts together a really great game, and I'm not just talking about 20 fantasy points, again, because he had a 50-yard rushing touchdown. I need to see a great passing game from Kyler Murray before I personally feel comfortable putting him back in a lineup. So
that's fair.
Nice.
In our league, it doesn't matter because we're fucking 1-6 anyway, so he could stay in the lineup.
The fantasy gods are.
I'll do mine so we just get back in the
in
the rhythm here. So I'm gonna go with my sit of the week at quarterback is Geno Smith. They're playing Buffalo. DK Metcalf is injured. It's a great Bills pass rush as well, and a great Bills secondary nonetheless. So I think it's pretty cut and dry. I'm just gonna bench Geno Smith for this week.
My sit for the week, I'm staying in that Texans-Colts game, going with Anthony Richardson.
Let's go.
Kind of pains me because I drafted him fifth round in a league or two. But he's going up against a Texans defense that I think it's starting to find itself, which we all expected preseason this defense to make noise and be a top-end defense in the league. And these past couple weeks after the Bills game, they've been kind of getting back to that flow. So I think this is another, like I said for C.J. Stroud, another home game for a Texans team that we haven't in a long time with expectations.
Yeah,
we haven't seen a Texans team with expectations in a very long time.
Yeah.
And I'll add to that the same thing I said last week, the same thing I probably said 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago when Anthony Richardson was my sit of the week. He is just ass. He's just ass. Sit him. He is not good at the sport right now.
I missed watching Joe Flacco.
He still has potential, sure. Like, I'm not giving up on Anthony
Richardson.
Richardson.
Hurt with his hip too, so I think
I'm
that's
sure.
also
Yeah,
not
I'm sure that
helping.
shit's lingering.
It doesn't help.
Cannot
but mobile
stay
QB.
healthy.
I mean, remember that game in week 2? He got hurt, sat out a few plays. They put him back in, and they ran a QB draw on like the 4-yard line, and he got a shot to the ribs again and came right out, and that's when he missed a few weeks. So yeah, I'm sure that shit's still lingering with him 100%. So
I really want Joe Flacco back.
Anthony Richardson, you just can't start him until
he has to prove.
Like I said with Kyler, I just need to see one great game, and I'm okay with Kyler going back in the lineup. Anthony Richardson, I got to see a few games. I need to see a few games. There's just so many, especially in if you're in a 10-man league where the quarterback options are on waivers are a little bit better than like a 12-man league. Like there's just no reason to be starting him right now, none at all. So
it's crazy to say that.
Yeah.
Where we've come.
Yeah. My running back start of the week, I'm so happy to say this. We were here last week watching it happen, recording our starts of the week. It's Javonte Williams, man. Coming off his best game probably since his ACL injury, honestly. 2 tuds. I'm pretty sure he had over 26 fantasy points last week. He just looked amazing, man. And he gets another favorable matchup here against the Panthers. Some of the stats I had written down, the Panthers have given up the most rushing yards in the league this season by far. They've given up 13 rushing touchdowns this season, which is the most in the league. The only other team with double digits is the Cowboys. So, I mean, this is just coming off with that momentum, coming off I don't want to say a career game, but the best game he's had in 2-3 years.
Yep.
You got to build off that, and this is a matchup that he can build off that. So Javonte Williams, a smash start this week.
Yeah, I think you could really play any Denver Bronco, anybody against the Carolina Panthers for that matter.
Before you say yours, I'm just going to say mine because I also had Mr. Williams starting.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, the Panthers are bad. And also Bryce Young starting at quarterback. Who knows how that offense is going to look.
That game script is probably going to be run, and run some more.
Yes,
so.
run, screen pass on 3rd and 13.
Well, that's
punt.
the Sean Payton offense. So.
Yep.
So, all right, here we go. My start of the week, going with the theme of Dolphins, it is Raheem Mostert. All of the Dolphins players are now once again startable, all because of his tribal chief, Tua. So they get to face off against Arizona, who has allowed the 6th most rushing yards in the NFL. Tua back, as I said, that's going to open up a whole lot for the running game as that becomes the sole focus when you got a quarterback that can't do a single thing. And another thing, Raheem Mostert is healthy. He was injured for much of this season. He's finally healthy. And I think that means all good things for a Dolphins rushing attack, which means Devon Achane should also be back in everybody's lineups.
Thank God.
So, yeah, the Dolphins are back.
Thank gosh, yeah. Moving on to the running back sits of the week. I don't know exactly how I feel about this one because he's been really solid this year. I think if you drafted him, you're super happy with him. And I don't have him on any of my teams, so I don't know if people really have a better option than him right now, given the landscape of running backs in fantasy football. But I'm sitting Tony Pollard this week. It's kind of been a theme of mine on these fantasy start sits. You don't start your running backs against the Detroit Lions. The Lions' run defense is lethal, and I think this game script could get pretty ugly for the Titans, too. I think the Lions could just absolutely poop on them. And we saw in a game in week 2 where the Titans got blown out by the Packers, Tony Pollard only had 6 touches in the game. Like, he could get literally played out of his, like, volume, not even just not be good against a great defense, but also just not get the volume. So I think Tony Pollard's a good sit candidate this week. Obviously, all of these sit candidates depend on your lineup and stuff like that, because given the running back landscape, he might be a guy that you have to start.
Yeah, I mean, if your RB3 is Chase Brown, are you starting Chase Brown over Tony Pollard?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, who do they play? The Browns?
Let me look in.
No, they play the Eagles.
Let me look in BTB.
How is the Eagles' run defense? Not that great.
It's like middle of the pack, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'd start Chase Brown over Tony Pollard.
But would you guys start Zach Moss over him?
I don't even know how to feel about that Bengals backfield. No idea.
Yeah, Zach Moss is just scary because, like, he's just not as explosive. Like, Chase Brown, like, even if it's limited volume, Chase Brown's just so much more explosive and could get fantasy points.
Solid.
He could get fantasy points in bunches, where Zach Moss, it's a lot of 2-yard gains, 3-yard gains.
I saw someone in our TikTok comments say Chase Brown is a top 20 running back, and I was just like, brother, no, he's fucking not. All right. My sit of the week is honestly even more controversial than yours. And look, you're probably not sitting him, but I'm warning you that it might not be the best game ever. In relation to that Anthony Richardson pick, my sit of the week is Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is coming back from injury, his first game back from injury. The Texans' defense, as you stated, is now elite and entering their final form. They've also allowed fewer than 4 yards per carry to opposing running backs so far this season. And look, I hate to say it, Richardson's presence all around just hurts the offense in totality. And it might take away a goal line touchdown, if anything, too, on a read option. So I'm just saying, be careful. Jonathan Taylor isn't the best start this week. All right.
Oh, wait. I didn't do my sit of the week.
Just send it back with your what you did. Oh, no, wait. No, you didn't. Go for it.
Yeah, so my sit of the week is going to be Ramondre Stevenson playing a Jets team that very desperately needs a win. Also not playing 100%. Just think the formula for sit a guy against a desperate team and no health.
Yeah.
Just
no health at all.
Yeah.
Just
no health.
no
He's
health.
not alive. He is no longer breathing.
somewhat alive.
Oh, I love Ramondre, but yeah,
It's
he's
tough.
in such a rough situation, dude.
Yeah,
Such a
and like you
talented
said, especially against the Jets in desperation mode, it's going to be tough for Ramondre this week.
Maybe
so that's
Rex Ryan got to them. Maybe they all heard it.
Yo,
Aaron
they
Rodgers
need
put it
something
on.
to
they're
and,
getting ripped by the media.
Good,
As they
bro.
should.
Ripped by
As
the
they
media,
should.
including
On the
this
BallGame
podcast.
Go check out
Yeah.
Tuesday's podcast to watch us go on for an hour.
And
about
a clip
how
out
they're
is
incompetent.
coming out for that one too, probably.
My
at
gosh.
some point or another.
I'm
So.
sick of them, bro. Oh my gosh! Every time I hear the word Jets, it makes me want to throw up. I'm so sick of talking about them in front of these microphones.
Yeah,
You could send it back with your start of the week at receiver, Ortiz.
So going back to the tribal chief, my start of the week at receiver is not Tyreek, because he should always been your starting lineup, but Mr. Jalen Waddle. It's about time. He's been living in a hole recently.
we're
But-
really tripling up on Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, everyone's a valid starter now
Yeah.
because they have a guy who could throw them the ball.
And it's just such a good matchup too for them to get right. Like the Cardinals are just such a suspect defense that like
Exactly.
it should be a nice game for everyone to get back on track and get
And-
on the same page.
To touch on what you said about Tua's get back game, like he might need a week. I think this is the perfect week for it.
Exactly,
I think
that's what I'm
playing a
saying.
weaker defense with and the most explosive offense when healthy, without question, in the NFL. I mean,
Fastest offense in the league by far.
yeah.
So I think it's a great start. Yeah, I mean, look, as I said before, I think every Dolphin, you could just plug them in now. You can honestly just plug them back into your lineups and feel pretty decent about it. I'm not going to lie. If you're gonna have to put on some fucking steel underpants, as the fantasy footballers always say, for my start of the week. It's Jerry Jeudy. I don't feel good about this, but I wanted to switch it up and not pick a guy that felt so obvious. I wanted to go with a deep flex play, potentially the deepest flex play. If you need a shot this week, look, Baltimore always, and I mean always, gives up a bunch of passing yards because they're so great against the run, and their secondary also just isn't great. I'm pretty sure they're actually 32nd in the league in passing yards allowed, which is kind of wild for a defense that historically has just been so great year over year. Look, this could also get very ugly. The Ravens could absolutely demolish the Browns, and this could be a positive passing script. But these division games get tricky, so I wouldn't necessarily bank on that. And the biggest wild card of them all. Finally, what me and Tom have been begging for on this podcast week after week, it's Jameis Winston time. It is Jameis Winston time, and that could mean such good things for this offense or such terribly bad things for this offense. But truth be told, can it really get worse than it was with he who shall not be named? I don't think it can.
Especially with Nick Chubb back, that's another.
Who knows,
piece.
man? Who knows? I wouldn't start Nick Chubb personally. But
Nick Chubb everywhere.
put Jerry Jeudy in your lineups and not feel good about it, but there's a shot. There's a shot.
Oh, if you want another player to not feel good about, you throw in your flex. I feel a good week for Tyler Algier coming on.
Oh, boy. That's a scary one as the backup.
As the backup. Yeah, I feel like he's going to get a tud for sure. I feel like
Just a gut.
gut feeling.
Okay.
I would call it a Tony T guarantee,
so good.
which is a phrase that hasn't been used on this podcast.
Yeah, no, we don't
Quite-
There it
guarantee
is.
Quite a minute.
anything. Yeah.
There it is.
But it quite frankly isn't. But I feel like he's going to have a half decent game as the backup.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, divisional matchups usually hard to gauge, but I think the Bucks have no receivers.
Yeah, they
Yep.
should beat them by 1 million.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel that. My wide
Go
receivers.
Kate Otten. Sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, fuck Kate Otten. My start of the week at receiver, kind of like a similar wavelength to that. It's just a gut feeling thing. I don't have stats to back this one up. I went with Rome Odunze. And we always talk about it.
Due.
The rookie, he's due, and the rookie wide receivers normally get going after the bye when they feel things out and start to add them more into the game plan. The Bears coming off a bye this week, he should be more involved in the game plan because he's been really good in all those like underlying metrics, getting open, all that fun jubble. So I think they should involve him more. And when you get to play the Commanders and Benjamin St-Juste, you're an easy start. Benjamin St-Juste, as I say,
You're just going to abuse this man.
he's the
all
worst
year.
starting cornerback in the NFL, and it is not close. So I think Rome, like you said, he's due too. So I think it's going to be a big Rome week this week. My sit of the week, though, a guy who was my start of the week last week for the same exact logic going up against Benjamin St-Juste, but boy, did it fail me. It's Deontay Johnson. My boy, it pains me to do this because this is a move I had to make, like I was telling you guys before we started recording. In all my leagues, I'm doing this. And I have Deontay Johnson in like 4 out of my 7 leagues. I have him everywhere. I'm moving him to the bench. It was bad last week. We saw how terrible the Panthers really are, even in a favorable matchup against the Commanders' defense. Now Bryce Young's back, and as bad as it was last week against the
It can get so much
against
worse.
the Commanders, we saw in weeks 1 and 2, it could get worse. So I'm sitting Deontay Johnson this week. It pains me. Maybe Bryce Young with a few weeks off is going to figure it out, but I have to see it before I believe it. So see you, Deontay.
Side note, this game is actual crack cocaine at the
Yeah,
current moment. I
yeah.
don't know if
Yeah, I
you caught
watched
some
that.
of it. Like,
You looked at me when I was watching it, and I looked at you when you looked away.
yeah. All right, so my sit of the week, speaking of crack cocaine, the Commanders offense has been
Lamar Odom.
exactly that for what?
I thought you were benching Lamar Odom.
No. Yeah, I think you probably should bench Lamar Odom in fantasy football.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. It's Terry McLaurin. Look, I know how great the Commanders' offense has been, but that's a product of the best rookie quarterback this season, and that's Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is currently hurt. We don't exactly know the status of him just yet, but he didn't practice Wednesday. I don't know about today.
I don't know if he practiced today. I saw they were planning for him to practice tomorrow, but I don't know if I saw that yesterday or today.
Okay.
But he's gonna try and
Mama
practice.
said he was fine, but
Yeah,
like
you got to be safe with your rookie quarterback. I don't
agree
expect
completely.
him to
He
play.
should not play.
I'd be pretty surprised if he suits up. But this is a statement game. They flex this game too into the 4 o'clock window. It's the number 1 versus number 2 pick. He has probably a little bit of an extra edge
motivation
to try and get back out there. So,
but
I'd be pretty
you
surprised.
Can't care
though.
about
Yeah.
that right now.
Yeah, you got to
That's
be
the thing.
safe, especially
care about
because
your
this is a team who, like, yeah, it's all about him developing and his future, but also this is a team that could really make the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
So you need him for the playoff push. So yeah, I'd be pretty shocked if he plays.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention the matchup isn't good in the first place. I mean, they're playing against Chicago, and Jalen Johnson is one of the best corners in the NFL. I mean, like I said, no guarantee that Jaden is going to even play, and even if he does, I expect it to be somewhat limited and not full Jaden Daniels. So
Yeah.
that's my sit of the week, Terry McLaurin.
My sit of the week is a fellow Giant. Is it going to be Mr. Wandale Robinson? Is going to be on the bench this week. So to gauge these, I went through all the leagues I'm in and see who was starting who and who was on whose bench. And I think just matchup-wise against Pittsburgh, a team that likes to get to the quarterback. I think Wandale's not going to have – well, Daniel Jones not going to have the time. Yeah, he's not going to have any time back there. So Wandale's going to be very poor. Good pass defense.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is not built to play in Heinz Field, bro.
No.
Not against the Steelers defense, not at all.
Wandale feels like week after week he had been to this point, like the perfect safe flex guy. Like you usually want to go with like one safe one and one risky one, and like Wandale was like the 10 to 15.
Yeah, I was
every
starting
week.
him in the leagues I had him.
So was I.
This week, though, and absolutely not.
I'm sitting him as well this week,
yeah,
so.
It's a rough start.
It's a home run pick. I'd be, what were we saying? His 4 is like 10 points normally.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty surprised if he gets to 10 points. I'm not
agree.
gonna lie to you.
So
I think it'll be around like 6 to 8 points.
I
Like,
think with how the
like
script
4
is going to go
catches for
to-
like 12 yards or something.
It might
like
be
that.
real bad.
Like something like that. He'll
might
get
be
his
real
targets
bad.
still, but we know how Wandale is. He don't be getting yards.
No, he doesn't.
And like it might be even worse in this game.
Doesn't
So yeah,
help.
Wandale is a smash. We'll run off the tight ends real quick. Like we
Remember,
mentioned
no
last.
sits.
Yes, we mentioned that last week. No more tight end sits because it's just
It's
if you have a guy you drafted high, you're starting him.
Yeah.
Had
Yo,
a guy you
Brock
drafted
Bowers.
high, let it fly.
not a
Exactly.
start of the week, but Brock, I'm just saying, might go fucking.
Yeah, the matchup
Dumb.
was when you look through what is that website? The fantasy matchup website. I
Yes.
don't know I forget what website
I know
it is,
I know which
but
one
that
you're talking
tells you
about.
like opposing like points allowed to positions, whoever the
I think it's one of them is NFLFantasy.com.
I don't use that one. It's
but-
another one. But the Raiders matchup, whoever they play this week
The Chiefs,
allows.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they allow the most points to tight ends.
Or something.
Whoever it is.
But
yeah.
regardless, and it's
Yeah,
a
it
sick
is the
matchup.
Chiefs. I think the Chiefs allow the second most points to tight ends, something like that. So it's a great matchup for him. My start of the week is going to be David Njoku. It's kind of the same reason you're starting Jerry Jeudy this week. But David Njoku is a little bit safer than Jerry Jeudy. I'm
for
pretty
sure.
sure. But he gets a quarterback change. Amari Cooper's not there anymore. Maybe the quarterback change just overall injects some life into this offense. Njoku's probably the best skill position player on this offense right now, given that Nick Chubb's kind of still not 100%, I assume. So I think Jameis is going to look to him a lot, and maybe, just maybe, he gets into the end zone because we know how the tight ends are. That's really what you're praying for here. So I like Njoku this week.
Yeah, my tight end start of the week is your tight end start of the week from last week, I believe. It's Dalton Schultz. Look, it has not been good for Dalton Schultz this year, but Colts are the 3rd worst team against fantasy tight ends in points per game. They still obviously do not have Nico Collins. And look, he hasn't scored all year.
He's so due, bro.
He's got to be due.
I
He's
said it
gotta
last
be
week
due.
when he was my start. So last week, my reasoning was because in that game, who'd they play last week? I forgot who they played, but whoever they played against, Diggs got one, Tank Dell got one, and Joe Mixon got a receiving touchdown. So I was like, no Nico. He's still got like
Green
7
Bay.
or 8 targets. No, before Green Bay. Green Bay was this
yeah,
past week.
you're right. 6.7 against the Patriots.
Yeah, but he got like 7 targets, right?
He had 8 targets.
8
in that
targets,
game.
and everyone else scored. So I was like, he's so due. He didn't do it against the Packers, but granted, no one did it against the Packers. CJ Stroud threw for 80 freaking yards.
Yep.
He's so due. He's so due,
has
bro.
to.
He has
He
to
has
get
to.
in this week.
I would bet a
Yeah,
Dalton
if I'm
Schultz
making
anytime
a
touchdown.
touchdown parlay this week, throw Dalton Schultz in there. You probably get some juicy odds. He is so fucking due. So yeah, Dalton Schultz he's a smash start for me too.
Yep.
So.
My start of the week is someone that we've been talking about recently is Zach Ertz. Because I feel like from your tight end position, you're just looking for reliable, safe, I'll give it 7 to 10 points, you know? You just want something there just to help out, a little boost. I think Zach Ertz is the perfect guy for that. I feel like his floor is super high.
Floor is so high. He's not a guy who you really are putting in your lineup to boom all over the place, but given how some of these top tight ends we have a situation where I think we should strongly consider starting Zach Ertz over Sam Laporta.
Uh-huh.
I really do. Because Sam Laporta, the floor is just so freaking low right now.
I mean,
it's so low.
compared to
Zach Ertz is
zero.
gross.
The 0 you can get from Laporta. I feel like no matter what Zach Ertz is going to give you, at least 5.
You're
You're
getting
going
six.
to get
Yeah.
You're
5.
getting 6, 5 or 6.
Which you
And then
take that.
And
Wild
then, and
that
then
we're
if he finds the
taking that
end
from the
zone,
tight end
like you
position.
said, that's what you pray for with your tight ends. He's a red zone threat for a quarterback who's who's starting for the first week for the
Yeah.
first time. You know, I mean, obviously not. It's not Mariota's first start, but with this
season,
offense,
yeah. His first start, yeah. And he looked good last week when he
did.
got it. Granted, it was against the Panthers, but
he was a good game.
he
manager.
looked like he looked like he was really in control. So
Mariota was back at Oregon.
yeah, no, he
Back
really
in Oregon
did.
days.
I mean, that was we said it in the chat. That was kind of more of a testament to Cliff Kingsbury than it was Marcus, because oh my god, in that game, Cliff Kingsbury just. And again, it's against the Panthers
Cliff has
defense,
been in his
but
bag, man.
he has been in his bag, dude. Shout out Cliff. So, like we said, no tight end sits. Those are our Week 8 fantasy football starts and sits of the week. Let us know in the comments any start sit questions you guys have for us. Any trade suggestions? You know, should you do a trade? Should you trade this player? Who should you be looking to trade for? Buy low, sell high. All that fun
Yeah, people
jubble.
have been active in the.
Yeah.
so.
Let us know any questions you guys have. Make sure to follow us on all our socials. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. I think that's pretty much it. Drop a W or T's in the comments too for being here. So
We still have more Ortiz coming, so don't worry. Hey, yo.
we got more.
And with
He's
that,
always coming.
Ball
and with that
game.
ball game.